गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां बोलो ज्ञानेश्वर महाराज की जय जय जय. So we are looking at Dnyaneshwari, the last refrain, Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyaya योग शास्त्रे श्री कृष्णार्जुन संवादे मोक्ष संन्यास योगो नाम अष्टादशोऽध्यायः. So this is the last bit, and this we saw at the end of every chapter, where the topic of the chapter was reiterated. So here it is moksha sannyas, and we are at the moment Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su, and the greatness of the Gita we are looking at. And we saw last week, we saw that how the Lord Krishna, he is greater than the light which dispels the darkness. The sunlight only dispels the earthly darkness, whereas Krishna, who is of the nature of light, when he is in front of us or he is in our heart and mind, he dispels the mental darkness. All delusions and illusions are removed once and for all. And then it was the example that was taken was that, how does he do it? He does it through the 700 verses of the Gita. These verses of the Gita are like grapevines forming a bower to provide a resting place for those who suffer fatigue in the journey of worldly life. In other words, if you want to take solace in life, if you are tired of life, if you are confused about life, if you are not understanding where life is leading you, and everyone sometime or the other goes through that in life. So here it is saying that you take the support of Bhagavad Gita and come under its shelter. It will start clarifying everything as you start reading it and listening to it. Now, or it says, or they are like the lotuses in blooms. The verses of the Bhagavad Gita are like lotuses in bloom whose nectar has been tasted by the saints and sages, and in bloom in a dark lake, and saints are like bees which enjoy their honey. So what are we doing? We don't even want to come to it. Only on Thursdays we want to come to it. But when do we have to come? Every morning. Read 2-3 verses, 5 verses, so that your day begins thinking, or while going to work, listen to it. And that's how you, early morning, your mind is empty, program it with some positive thoughts and let them carry you throughout the day. And what do saints and sages do? They have imbibed the verses into their being. What is the goal of Bhagavad Gita? Realization. They have come to taste, they have tasted the nectar of realization, and those people who have tasted that and nourished themselves with that realization, with that nectar, they are called saints and sages. Continuing from here, 1671. किं सभाग्य संति भ्रमरी केले ते श्लोक कल्हारी श्रीकृष्णख्य सरोवरी सासिन्नलीहे की श्लोक नहवती आन गमे गीतेचे महिमान वाखाणिते बंदी जन उदंड जैसे किं श्लोकांची आवारा 700 करोनी सुंदरा स्वर्गागम गीता पुरा वसो आले किं निजकांता आत्मया आवडी गीता मिळावया श्लोक नहुवती ब्रह्मा पसरू काजो किं गीता कमळीचे भृंग की ते गीता सागर तरंग की हरीचे हे तुरंग गीता रथीचे. He says that in short these are not verses but are so many bards who sing the glory of the Gita. This Gita is like a beautiful city which is enclosed in a wall in the form of 700 verses within which all the Shastras have come to dwell. Because Gita is supposed to be the, what masters say, it is the essence of all the Upanishads. It is essence of all the scriptures. There is nothing missing in it. Upanishads, I told you last time, Upanishads talk to you about realization. But here Gita tells you not only about realization, but what is karma, path of karma, path of devotion, path of knowledge, path of meditation, etc., etc. Different paths, 18 paths it has given as in their ascending order. As you purify, the end, last chapter was Moksha Sanyaasa, the path of realization or renunciation and realization. So, and it teaches you how to function in life. It teaches you how do you train your mind, how you program your mind, how to what to aspire for, what not to aspire for, how to achieve something in life, in every way of every aspect of your personality, especially in the Gunatita Yoga and also in the 18th chapter. How, if your mind is pure, what will be its symptoms? If it is dynamic, what will be its symptoms? In every aspect of your life, whether it is a relationship, whether it is karma, whether it is devotion, whether it is every aspect. Or tamasic also, what are its symptoms? So Upanishads don't talk to you in so much detail, whereas this Bhagavad Gita, it not only makes you and gives you the tools to function in the world, and at the same time it gives you the tools to transcend the world. Both the things it does. And that is the beauty of the Bhagavad Gita, and therefore it is said that Bhagavad Gita, these 700 verses are like the fort walls within which all the Shastras, all the scriptures, all the knowledge is contained. And in this way, these are not verses but the outstretched arms of the Gita with which she has come to embrace her Lord, the Supreme Self. So if you take, here Dnyaneshwari Maharaj is taking Bhagavad Gita as an entity, just like sun is a physical form you see in the sky. But in our scriptures, the potentiality within the sun, to be the sun, it has been deified. So we say Lord Sun. So Lord Sun has a particular form. He is going on a chariot of so many horses and so on. So it's continuously 24 hours. It's every 12 hours he comes and he goes. So the same way, the god of wind, the god of goddess of night, the god of waters, the Varun. So everything in the creation, in fact in all the cultures, have been deified. So similarly, Bhagavad Gita also has been deified. Just like Gayatri Mantra, Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. This is a mantra. But they have deified that particular mantra as a goddess, and she is that Dashabhuja or Ashtabhuja, whatever, I can't remember. But she is the bestower of nourishment and knowledge and focus and realization. See? So same way Bhagavad Gita also is deified. And what is she doing? Through her verses, she is embracing the Lord. So first the view was from the top. Now the view is from the Gita's point of view. The Gita point of view, she is, with every verse, she is embracing the Lord. Well, if you want to say it a bit more personal, with every verse, she is embracing the Atma that you are. Or in other words, where are the verses of the Gita? In your mind. Through those verses, what is the mind doing? Coming to the self that it essentially is. Same rule. Apply. Think outside the box. So what is happening out there is also happening within. So in this manner, this Gita is like a this we did. These are not verses but the outstretched arms of the Gita with which she has come to embrace her Lord, the Supreme Self. These verses are like the bees on the Gita flower, the waves of the Gita, the waves on the Gita sea, or the horses of Sri Hari yoked to the Gita chariot. It is as though all the holy waters have come together to join the Ganga in the form of the Gita on the entry of the sun in the form of Arjuna in the zodiac Leo. This is Dnyaneshwari Maharaj is just outpouring of his love for the Bhagavad Gita. So he's finding similes wherever his at the worldly level, at the divine level, at the Lord level, everywhere, at the river level, at the mountain level, everywhere he is finding the connection, how Gita is great. And so these verses are like the bees on the Gita flower. So here is, before he took it as something else, now he's taking it as a flower. And where are we? These verses are like the bees on the Gita flower. So Gita itself, the Gita text, the total book or that deity is the flower, and the bees are humming around, the verses are humming around. The book doesn't hum around, but when the words are chanted, this chanting is the humming. Then what is the other one? Where? Or the waves on the Gita sea. If sea is the Gita with all potentiality, that is what it means. Sea has the immense potential, which we have not even discovered yet. So if it is the potential, Gita verses are the waves on that ocean, on those waters. Then third example that is taken is that the horses of Sri Hari, the Lord Narayana, Lord Krishna, when he yokes the horses, he goes on a chariot. He doesn't walk everywhere. So those horses is the Bhagavad Gita, and horses of the Bhagavad Gita to the Gita. The verses are the horses on the Gita chariot. The chariot is the Gita itself, and the horses are the verses. Because chariot by itself cannot go anywhere. It needs to be yoked to the horses. Horses carry the chariot somewhere. So similarly, the verses are taking the Gita in a particular direction. But whose chariot? Is it your chariot, my chariot, Arjuna's chariot? No, Lord's chariot. It is as though all the holy waters have come together to join the Ganga in the form of the Gita. So we, even today, whenever we go anywhere, in any country, if I go to a river, I don't, whether it is Yara or whether it is Narmada or it is Godavari or it is any river in any part of the world, My attention doesn't go to the name of the river. I think of it as Ganga automatically. And the first thing I do is take the water, sprinkle it on my head. If I go to the ocean, I take the water, sprinkle it on my head. Because Ganga ji has come into the ocean. And every river is a representation of Ganga ji alone, is an aspect of Ganga ji alone. See, it's a bhav, it's nothing else. It's physically that is not true, but it's a bhav. Here we are not talking about whether the world is right or wrong. We are here to correct our attitude towards the world. So if you want to see Ganga in every river, you are going to benefit. If you are going to see Lord in every being, then your mind is going to benefit. If you are going to be positive in everything, then your mind is going to benefit. And these are small ways by which we can train our mind. Ganga or the entry of the sun in the form of Arjuna. So, entry of the sun, what do you call entry of the sun? The bright sun. So here Arjuna is compared to the sun, just as the first physical entity that at the creation level, which got the knowledge from the Lord, was the Lord's Son. So first he gave, you say, oh, there was Sanat Kumaras, there was Naradji, all they are they physical? No. We are talking about physical. Manifested. Not subtle manifest, gross manifest. So what is the gross manifest? Among the gross manifest, who got the first knowledge? It was the Lord's Son. So try. I'm just giving you an idea because I have done this. You focus on the sun to the exclusion and don't blink. Do tratak on the sun. Do tratak on the sun. I know there will be you will get headaches, something will happen in your body. But if you can withstand it, suddenly after a few days of practice, maximum 3 days, if you do it sincerely, in 3 days' time, the sun will enter into you. Where from it will enter? It will enter through your eyes, through your pupil. And once it enters, then magic happens. And siddhis start expressing. And who are the sons? Who is the son of Lord Sun? S-O-N of S-U-N? Yama, the Lord of Death. Then you can have darshan of all of them and be their friends. See, I'm not joking. Yes, there is confusion because you are not used to it. But if you commit, then all this is possible. All gods come to you, all saints come to you, because Lord Sun is illuminating all of them, past, present, future. But we don't want to spend 3 days of our life focusing on the Lord Sun. We don't want to do that much also. If I do that, then I will not be able to function. I'll do it after the marriage. I'll do it after retirement. I'll do it after I become the grandmother. See, everything needs to be done while you are healthy, not after you are old. When you are healthy, in physically and mentally, that time you have the capacity to explore these potentialities within you. And also come to be who you actually are. When you try to do these experiments in the old age, then body is not able to handle it. That's why some reactions are there. And then fear will set in, then forget it. But that does not mean to say that you are old. By age one doesn't become old. By thinking one becomes old. If you feel that you are old, nobody can stop you from even a 30-year-old. Nowadays, kids also sleep till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I'm bored, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm fatigued, I'm not interested. What is all this? This is all signs of old age. These are not signs of youth. Youth should be dynamic. It should be dynamic. There has to be a higher purpose in life. And it should drive you. No sleep, continuous aspiration towards that higher goal. Whatever it may be. It may be worldly, it may be godly. But some higher goal. You should be unstoppable. So just as that Lord Son who got the first knowledge from the Lord Narayana, the Supreme Lord, or Lord Krishna, similarly here that son is compared to Arjuna. Arjuna is the son who is getting the knowledge from Krishna on the battlefield. See, continuing. किं श्लोक सर्वतीर्थ संघातु आला श्री गीते गंगे आंतु जे अर्जुन नरसिंहस्थु झाला म्हणवनी किं नो हे श्लोक श्रेणी अचिंत्य चित्त चिंतामणी किं निर्विकल्पा लावणी कल्पतरूंची ऐसी आशते 7 श्लोका परी आगळा एक एका आता कोण वेगळी का वाना वापा तान्ही आणि पारठी इया कामधेनु ते दिठी सुनी जैसिया गोठी की जतीना दीपा आगिलू मागिलू सूर्यू धाकुटा वडिलू अमृत सिंधू खोलू उथळू कायसा. He says, this is not a row of verses but a row of philosopher's stone which bestows peace of mind. So these verses are not these are not verses but verse after verse of philosopher's stone. If you take one verse out of it, why one verse? One word out of it. It is enough. It is enough. For what? For your overhauling of your being. From what is that overhauling? From wherever. If you take it from karma yoga, you will be clear of what karma you have to do. If you take it from bhakti, you will be clear in that. If you take it in Gyaan, you will be clear about that. Okay. So this is not a row of verses but a row of philosopher's stone. And what does philosopher's stone do? Whatever it touches, it turns into gold. So whenever your mind touches any part of this Bhagavad Gita, any verse of this Bhagavad Gita, any word of this Bhagavad Gita, your mind transforms. Means it becomes clear. Means doubts and confusions recede. See? Or a row of wish-yielding trees which lead to the attainment of formless Brahman. If our focus is on the reality, if our focus is on the absolute truth, the pure consciousness, and we read these verses and contemplate on them, they are like the row of... In heaven there is a wish-fulfilling tree called Kalpataru. Or Kalpataru. There is one tree in Puttaparthi also, if you have been to Puttaparthi. Many people have had their wishes fulfilled by going under it and wishing. So similarly in heavens, there is a wish fulfilling tree. Whenever you go under it, whatever you ask when you go to it, it is fulfilled. See? Gita is that wish fulfilling tree where instead of if you ask something about the world, that will also you will get. But if you ask for the reality, she will make your mind oriented towards the reality with clarity. She is not ambiguous. She is absolutely clear. The path is absolutely clear. There is no ifs and buts in the entire 700 verses. No ifs and buts. And who has read these Bhagavad Gita verses? Whether you take Einstein, whether you take Oppenheimer, whether you take Max Muller, whether you take all the modern scientists and even famous Rudyard Kipling, all these people have read Bhagavad Gita. They have read the Upanishads. And here we are, we will see. No, commit to it on a daily basis. You will commit to it only when you feel the greatness of it. When you are convinced of its greatness, rather than, like a crow. What does a crow do? The crow pecks on a fruit, eats little bit, leaves it, then another one, then leaves it, then another one, then leaves it. He is never able to eat a complete fruit. We are like that, human beings. We go from text to text, we go from guru to guru, we go from God to God, depending where our wishes are getting fulfilled. See, you take one Bhagavad Gita, commit to it, everything will sort. Yesterday someone sent me a video and very fantastic. If you chant 40 times Hanuman Chalisa for 40 days, if you chant 40 times Hanuman Chalisa every day for 40 days, and this is what Guru is talking about it. He is practicing it and he is teaching others also. Hanumanji comes into your life. He will give you darshan. He will give you darshan. 40 times for 40 days. So just now, Ramzan has started, no? Ramadan or Ramzan, whatever. 40 days. They let them do theirs. You do yours 40 times Hanuman Chalisa for 40 days. Hanumanji will give you darshan. This is so uncanny. We were doing Adbhut Ramayana in Bali. Every morning our lecture was there. And the day I finished, next day Hanumanji was going to be introduced, and in that particular chapter, Bhagwan says that, or the Valmiki Maharaj says, now we will move into the next episode where Hanumanji is coming, and that very moment, while we were having breakfast, a huge group of monkeys came, ate all our breakfast and took prasad and went away. It's not, you can't say, oh, it is just a coincidence. When we are studying Srimad Bhagavad, when we are doing in the monastery, so Swamiji is sitting on the seat like you are sitting, we are sitting on the floor, and behind him, where that those things are there, that's the window, huge window. So Swamiji is sitting there. So full year it was going on. When we reached the 9th canto of the Bhagavatam, it was the Ramayana. And as we were doing the Ramayana, and when we reached, Swamiji covered it within few weeks. But for those few weeks, every day the monkeys will pass through our ashram. Never they stopped for any of the chapters. But the moment Ramayana started, one monkey will hang on the window grill and he'll keep listening. He's not ready to go. His whole gang has gone, but he's not going. How many? Till Ramayana was going on. The day Ramayana concluded, he went away. Now, this is not coincidence, man. This is not coincidence. Then why does it not happen to everyone? You do it with faith, it will come. If he is meant to come, he will come. You call out, you take the name of the Lord Ram, with deep devotion and surrender, it will happen. So same way, you take these verses with deep devotion and surrender, with faith, they will transform your mind. Where there was tamas, there was inertia, there will be dynamism in your mind. Where there is dynamism, there will be it will lead to purity. So our journey is from inertia to dynamism to purity and transcend all the three. That is our journey. See? So every one of these 700 verses is excellent. So how could anyone take out some of them for special mention and praise? No, we must respect and revere every one of those verses. They are a link in the whole thought. Yes, everyone has some favorite ones, no doubt. But that does not mean that you look down upon, that is not important chapter. Not like that. So how could anyone take out some of them for special mention and praise? We cannot talk of the wish-yielding cow as a milk cow or as a dry cow. Again, in heavens, just you have, I mean, you are talking about heaven. Heaven is your mind. If you think, if your mind is pure, you are in heaven while living on the earth. Heaven is not some, it can be an imaginary place. Like someone today called me, Swamiji, I am doing meditation and I am doing japa, and last night something magical happened. I said, what happened? So I said, they said, while I was doing japa, I went to sleep. My mind was only on the japa. And while doing japa, that person went to sleep, and in the sleep, they found they were out of the body, they were going around in the heaven, they are seeing God, various planets, not God, they are seeing various planets, and they are moving at the speed of thought. And they know that they have got no weight. See, all these things happen. So what is this? Am I going crazy? What is happening to me? So heaven is where you are. Remember, what did we say? The whole creation is a projection of your mind, isn't it? This you are clear? If this is clear, the whole world, which world? The gross world, the subtle world, and the causal world. And if you want to talk about these worlds as the 14 lokas, if you want to talk this world as the lower world and the earthly world and the heavenly world, then all that is your projection of your mind. So is your mind focused on the lower world, the extraterrestrial? No, it's not extra. What is that? Niche jo hai, under the earth. Patal, but English. Patal, under the earth. Or is your attention on gaining something in this world, or is your attention always on is projecting the higher? Higher could be the heavens, higher could be the Vaikuntha, higher could be the abodes of the various gods. See? And you can visit all of them, not a problem. We don't talk about it because then you get distracted from the main purpose of your life, which is realizing that you are the infinite consciousness. Then you will be lost in visiting all these places because they are so fantastic. And once you get caught up there, then you will remain there. You will want to go back there again and again. See? Because you are enjoying here, so you keep coming every Thursday here again and again. Same thing happens with the heavens also. In heavens, there is no realization possible. Only on earth, realization is possible. So, coming here again and again for the satsang is more beneficial than going to the heaven again and again in your mind. And what is the expression of heaven? That all your desires are fulfilled the moment they come to you. You don't feel hungry and thirsty. You got no afraid of. You don't get old. Disease, decay, and death is not there. So if you are healthy, you are youthful, you have everything at your fingertips. There is nothing short of anything in this world. You are in heaven. And many people are there like that, isn't it? And yet many people are there who have everything at their fingertips, yet they are depressed. Correct? So choose wisely. Choose wisely where you are, what you want in life. So here it is saying that so what I was telling you, just like we had the Kalpataru tree, the wish fulfilling tree, there is a wish fulfilling cow also. So that cow is called as the mind. If that mind is pure, that cow called the mind, because why we call it cow? Because cow is one animal in this world out of which everything is useful. Its urine is useful, its cow dung is useful, its milk is useful, its skin is useful, its horns are useful. Everything. Its hooves are also medicine. Everything. In the olden times, or even today, if you go to India, from the cow dung, it is a very good antiseptic as well as anti-mosquito, anti-germ. You drink the urine of the cow, a healthy cow, it is very, very therapeutic. And this is practiced in India, may not be practiced anywhere else, because they eat cow. In India, we respect cow, we revere cow. Because in India, they have recognized, in Sanatan Dharma, they have recognized the greatness of the cow. No other animal in this world, on this planet, is more holy than the cow. So it is called as wish-fulfilling cow. So there are different stories about it. We will not go into it. But that is your mind, the wish-fulfilling mind, cow. Is your mind a place where you have desires and nothing manifests? Then that is a dry cow, isn't it? Old and decrepit, cannot give milk also, but you have to take care of it. So your mind is there and it is not able to fulfill any of your wishes. I have been thinking about all this, I've got all this, and nothing is getting fulfilled. What's the point of having a mind then? Think. What is the point of having a mind in which none of the desires get fulfilled? Don't everyone want a mind in which every desire is fulfilled? Then you have to work towards it. You have to either imagine the lurking potential within the mind or orient the mind towards the divine. Then all your mind. In the interim, all your desires will be fulfilled. Then you find, if my desires are fulfilled, I'll get caught up in it, or I have found myself that I've got caught up in it. So better not fulfill all my these desires. Then what should I do? Is there a way? But I can't deny that I have all these desires. I may not want to, because I don't want to get caught up in these desires, but I have desires. They do keep erupting. So is there a way to fulfill all the desires in one go, or to get rid of all the desires in one go? Nobody wants to get rid. They all want to fulfill. Yes, there is one way. Come to the feet of the Lord. When you come to the feet of the Lord, He is the whole world. And the moment you merge into Him, all your desires are fulfilled in one go. Because, in other words, there is no desire left. Fulfillment of all the desires and having no desires means the same thing. Because you come to realize everything is me. And if everything is I, how can I have desire for I? I am already me. What I have just said is possible only in a purified mind, in a sattvic mind, not in a dynamic mind, not in a inert mind. Inert mind, which is oriented towards finite objects. Dynamic mind, which is oriented towards fantastic imaginations and powers. Pure mind, focused only on merging with the divine to realize the truth. Within that, again, there are different categories. We can imagine again. So in this way, we cannot talk of the wish-yielding cow as a milk cow or as a dry cow. So don't think of your mind as a place where you have to fulfill your desires, or my desires are not getting fulfilled. Then what you should consider your mind as? I ask you. Not as a milking cow, nor as a dry cow. So don't consider your mind, the wish-fulfilling cow, as a milking cow from where you can extract any desire and fulfill it, nor as a dry cow where none of your wishes are getting fulfilled. Then what should you consider your mind as? My question to you also, all who are listening. What do you consider your mind? What should you consider your mind as?
Beyond both of them and the self, the conscious self.
Anyone else here? The digital world, all ghosts. All ghosts. Dr. Usha said, beyond both and the conscious self. Yes, mind in essence is nothing but pure consciousness. It is not pure consciousness is not a place of fulfilling your wishes or not fulfilling your wishes. Consciousness is complete at any given moment, whether you know it or you don't know it. By nature, consciousness is complete. Just like by nature, the light is illumination. Whether you accept it or it doesn't matter to the light. Wherever there is light, there is no darkness. Similarly, consciousness is complete, whether you accept it or you don't. And that you are. Don't forget. And that is what is the mind. So don't take it as fulfilling or not fulfilling. That in each line there is so much to unfold. Otherwise, we'll just read it and what is this dry cow and milk cow? I can't understand. Until your foundation is not clear. Once foundation is there, automatically every word just reveals itself in front of you. How can one talk about the front or the rear of a lamp, or small or big in the case of the sun, or deep or shallow in the case of the sea? Everything is water. Shallow or deep, it's water everywhere, isn't it? And what are the other one? The front and the rear of the lamp. Everywhere there is light. Whether it is front or back, it's illuminating everywhere. And what is the other? A small or big in the case of the sun. It's your optical illusion that the sun is small or big, but the sun is the sun. It has never become big or small. It has never risen. It is not rising or it is setting. It's always the same. In the same way, one cannot talk of Gita verses as at the beginning or at the end. There is no beginning or end of Bhagavad Gita. When you look at the written text, yes, there is a beginning. Shri Sanjay Uvacha Dharma Kshetre Kuru Kshetre. There is a beginning and there is an ending. Matir Mama. That's a very physical. But when you look at it from spiritual point of view, and you take Bhagavad Gita as the divine, divine, then there is no beginning. It is an eternal knowledge that is being presented here. It is eternal knowledge. And eternal does not have a beginning or end. All other knowledge are temporary. All other knowledge are about survival. Whatever you study in university or school. But this is not about survival. Then what is it about? It is about transcendence. It is about abidance. It is about coming to realize who you essentially are. In the same way, one cannot talk of Gita verses as at the beginning or at the end. Who can distinguish between the fresh and stale flowers of a coral, parijataka tree? Why? You can't make out between the... Have you seen parijat tree? The flowers? The saffron in between. And why we can't make out? Because the fragrance is the same. And when they fall down, they still remain fresh. You get parijat flowers, you get only before sunrise, not afterwards. Continuing from 1681. Where is 1681? 79, 81. तैसे पहिले सरते श्लोक न म्हणावे गीते जुनी नवी पारिजाते आहाती काई आणि श्लोका पाडू नाही हे कीर समर्थो काई येथ वाच्य वाचकही भागू न धरी जे इये शास्त्रीये कु श्रीकृष्णची वाच्य वाचकू हे प्रसिद्ध जाणे लोकू भलताही येथे अर्थे तेची पाठे जोडे ये वढेनी घटे वाच्य वाचक एक वठे साधिते शास्त्र म्हणवनी मज काही समर्थनी आता विषय नाही गीता जाणा हे वाङ्मयी श्रीमूर्ती प्रभूची. He says, how much more then is my statement justified that these verses are equally important, none being greater or lesser than others? Each one is, which part of your body is more important? Every part has its own uniqueness, isn't it? No, right hand is more left hand. No. Every organ inside your body is also important. No, let's take out. Nowadays, appendix is not important. Gallbladder is not, काट के निकाल लो. कर रहे हैं आजकल nowadays it is going on. Little bit pain, निकाल दो. Cut and paste. But it has its own repercussions. So every part of our body is, one eye, it is निकाल दो. No. Take out one kidney, the functionality of your body becomes, processing of the water, it becomes less. So every verse of the Bhagavad Gita is important. Can you have this whole universe without the 5 elements? No, I don't believe in space, so it's only space, air, fire, water, earth. Where do they exist? I don't know. You have to have all the 5. Same way, all verses in Bhagavad Gita are important. Don't disregard them, don't disrespect them. Because they are in Karma Yoga chapters, it is not important. Because they are in the 18th chapter, they are important. No. Each one is important. Without understanding the first part, you cannot come to the last part. Without understanding the dharma, you cannot come to what your true nature is. as regards this Bhagavad Gita scripture, there is no distinction between one who narrates it and one who hears it. Why? There is no distinction between the one who is speaking and one who is hearing.
Because everything is one.
Good. Everything is that infinite. Everything is that pure consciousness. Everything is that Lord. Nimitta and Upadan Karan. He is the efficient cause of the creation and he is the material cause of the creation. So everything, the student also is that Lord and the teacher is also that Lord, or the speaker is also that Lord. So no distinction. That is where our attention should be while listening. Our attention should not be merely on the words or merely on the teacher. Our attention should be on the unifying principle. Where should be our attention on the unifying principle?
On the self.
Correct. Why such a long time to think? Huh? Everyone knows that in this Gita, Lord Krishna is the one who narrates it, and it is he it is who hears it in the form of Arjuna, isn't it? The Guru Maharaj, in Upanishads it comes, the Guru Maharaj knows that every student is not other than the self that he is. Because Guru Maharaj is already knowing the truth. So he knows every student who has come to him is not other than the truth. But the student doesn't know it. Then how will the student come to know it? If he also considers or raises himself to that point where he sees that he is the consciousness and consciousness is all encompassing. Nothing is outside the consciousness. Maya tatamidam sarvam. Whatever merit one has got by knowing the import of the Gita is also secured by its recital. Very important point, said by a saint. Because Dnyaneshwari Maharaj, whose commentary we are listening, he is a great master, he is a realized master. And what is he saying? That whether you understand intellectually the meaning of the verses or you do the chanting of the verses of the Bhagavad Gita, it's equal. Because as your mind keeps chanting, see, just now I gave you the example, no? 40 times Hanuman Chalisa for 40 days. The meaning will start revealing of every verse of the Hanuman Chalisa. Same way when you start chanting the Bhagavad Gita every day, do one chapter every day. How much time it is going to take? 7-10 minutes, that's all. One chapter every day. Every 18 days, maybe one day you have to do 2 days you have to do 2. Then every month, twice you have chanted the Bhagavad Gita. You keep chanting, slowly the words will start grabbing your mind. Once the word starts grabbing your mind, you are just listening to satsang here, satsang there, and suddenly some words suddenly reveal themselves, their import. Without having studied Bhagavad Gita, you go to Aalandi. You have been to Aalandi? You see under the tree how many people are sitting there and continuously chanting the Bhagavad Gita, the Dnyaneshwari. See? And among them there are many great masters. Master doesn't mean only wearing this type of cloth. They are there, they are grahasthas, but they have probably more knowledge, they are abiding in it more than we are. Because they have been doing it all their life. They are not ordinary beings. So here he says, so the Gita is also secured by its recital, this scripture attaches the same importance to the meaning as well as the words which give expression to it. So the meaning as well as the word, both are equally important. Just as when we do Narayana Suktam, Purusha Suktam, Rudram, every word is so potent. Om Sahasra Shirasha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapad. If you pronounce with alertness, without any mistake, in correct intonation, the word has to reveal itself. Our attempt must not be to complete the verse. Our attention must be on crystal clear pronunciation of the words. Crystal clear. And that's why when you study Sanskrit, we keep insisting on crystal clear pronunciation of vowels as well as alphabets. Even now I keep correcting you. It's almost more than a year. Even that Mai, he's been doing it but I have to keep correcting you. For her also sometimes I do it. Even after so many years. But that correction is important. Crystal clear pronunciation. And I'm not saying just you. I keep correcting myself. Because sometimes by default the old habits click in. And if it is crystal clear, the word will reveal while you are chanting. Horripulations will come. The spine will become straight. A sense of blessedness is there. And whenever we are in tune with each other, when we are chanting in the morning, after that, we know it was a good session. So, whether you do chanting of Gita, whether you do chanting of Rudram, or you just chant Om, but chant it clearly, chant it loudly, chant it with devotion, chant it with commitment, chant it with discipline. Then see, it has to lead you to something greater. Mind has to become single-pointed. All these words of Bhagavad Gita are so many words, 700 verses. Each verse has maybe at least 10-15 words in it, right? So 15 words times 700, so many words. Oh, this is too much, I can't remember. Chant Om. Om is inclusive of all the words. Yeah, that sounds better. But we don't chant it. You only appreciate it when you are told. But we don't do it. We don't practice it. It has to be practiced. So, this scripture attaches the same importance to the meaning as well as the words which give expression to it. Therefore, there is no topic left for me to prove or establish. Know that this Gita is the literary image of Lord Krishna. So, Lord Krishna in an image, Shankha Chakra Gada Padma Dhari, Pitambar Dhari, Kaustubha Mani Dhari, Vanamala Dhari, Mor Mukut Dhari. If you have to write about him in words, Bhagavad Gita it is. Is the literary image of Lord Krishna. Usually a religious text becomes fruitful in explaining its import, and when it has achieved this purpose, it loses its raison d'etre. But this Gita scripture is not like that. It is verily of the nature of the Supreme Self. Gita itself is supreme. So therefore, any scripture for that matter, of any religion, is respectful, it is divine. So you should not touch it with your feet, you should not just throw it, you should not disrespect it. You know, some countries do that, then there is a riot there. See? But what do you do with it in home? Do you respect it? And there are other people in this world who take Bhagavad Gita and only put it in the altar and Om Jaya Jagadish Hare, put the lamp around it. They don't read it. Then when they do read it, when someone dies, then they read it. It is not for that also. Yes, you can pray to it, no doubt. But read it also. Get involved in it. So, but the Gita scripture is not like that. It is verily the nature of the Supreme Self. Then continuing. Oh. शास्त्रवाच्ये अर्थे फळे मग आपण मावळे तैसे नवे हे सगळे परब्रह्मची कैसा विश्वाची कृपा करुणी महानंद सोपा अर्जुन व्याझे रूपा आणिला देवे चकोराचे निमित्ते तिन्ही सुभुवने संतप्ते निवविली कळावते चंद्रे जेवी का गौतमाचे निमिषे कळिकाळ ज्वरी तो देशे पाणी ढाळू गिरीशे गंगेचा केला तैसे गीतेचे हे दुभते वत्स करुनी पार्थाते दुभिन्नली जगा पुरते श्रीकृष्ण गाय. He says, out of compassion for the whole world, the blessed Lord brought the bliss of Brahman within the reach of everyone under the pretext of teaching Arjuna. Lord, Ishvara, Krishna, well, just take the Lord, a generic word, Bhagavan. His job is only one. What is that? Yena kena prakarena, by any way which way he can, again and again, he wants to come and bless the people on the earth, in the human kingdom, or in any other kingdom, so that they come to realize the true nature. See? In other words, how does the Lord increase his bliss? How does the Lord increase his bliss? That truth which is Satchidananda Swarup, existence, consciousness, bliss. How does that bliss increase? How does that bliss increase? It's complete. Brahman is complete. So how will it increase? कभी सोचा नहीं. I have told this before. How does he increase the bliss?
By revealing himself.
To whom?
To everybody. But to single pointed person.
My question is not from the world. I am questioning is, if the truth is complete and it is of the nature of continuous existence, all knowingness, that is consciousness, and infinite bliss, how that infinite bliss will increase?
By evoking his potentiality.
Then what will happen? Close. So you will say,
based on your availability?
Not your availability, we are talking about the truth. We are not talking about individual. So that which is complete, is there anything impossible for him? No. So he decided, he desired, and that is very important in our scriptures, as if he desired. What did he say? I want to experience myself. So the moment he did that, your answer, he invoked his potentiality. The moment he invoked his potentiality, which is not other than him, it became the world. And he started playing with himself, and now, before it was only one bliss, now he himself has become many through his potentiality, and the bliss is multiplying, as if It's all as if. You are of the nature of bliss, by nature. You are happy, you are blissful. But you seek happiness from your husband, from your children, from your grandchildren, from food, from sleep, from good clothes, from whatever. So it is all your projection only. Now that you have understood Bhagavad Gita, so everything is your projection. So you are playing with your projection and enhancing your own bliss. What did you say? Better not think about it. See? So this is the Leela. So here he is saying, where are we? Out of compassion for the whole world, the blessed Lord brought the bliss of Brahman within the reach of everyone under the pretext of teaching Arjuna. The entire world is nothing but him through his potentiality. But the nature of potentiality is purity, dynamism and inertia. Those who are inert oriented, for them reality is a bit further away. Those who are dynamic, they understand but it's still far away. Those who are pure, it is within a catching distance. See? Pure where? Manasa vacha kaya, thought, word and deed. You must be integrated. So everything is his expansion. So first he became many, and then in that many there are divisions of purity, dynamism and intelligent people, saintly people, dynamic people and inert people. And then he comes to bless. Why he comes? Why not? Why not? Swamiji, what is the need to go to Bali? Why not? Huh? Why do you take class here? Why not? Why you take only Bhagavad Gita? What's your problem? See? So Bhagavan has all potentiality. He is doing it for the joy of it, not because of any purpose. If at all there is a purpose, it is that of compassion and love to his creation which has come out of himself. And to bestow the knowledge of the reality, knowledge of truth, to that variety that is presenting itself. So he is doing it out of love, kindness, compassion. And that's why when we become focused on him, then his grace comes to us. Until and unless I do not switch the switch on, the darkness of this room will not be replaced by light. And where am I going? Oh, I hope I don't fall. Where's the chair? Where's the sofa? All you have to do is switch it on. Same way, switch it on in your mind. Om. Put the switch on. Om is of the nature of light. Or any God, it depends what your idea of God is. Take Om, don't get confused. Then once the light is on, all the cobwebs will be removed without you knowing. You just remain focused on the Om. So here he says, where are we? Under the pretext of teaching Arjuna. So taking example of an Arjuna. Why? He was the most perfect student. He was single-pointed, he was straightforward, he was not manipulative, he was not corrupt, he was a great example for all the youth. See? He had the quality of surrender. He had the quality of learning very quickly whatever was taught to him. The full moon cools down the afflictions of the three worlds by making the chakora bird an excuse. This is a mythological bird. Chakora bird is that bird which drinks water only when the rain is falling. So here it is saying that the full moon cools down the affliction of the three worlds. The heat of the sun. In the daytime, it heats up the world. The moment moon comes out, it cools down the whole world. By making the chakora bird an excuse, the Lord Shiva brought the sacred Ganges to the earth by making sage Gautama an excuse in order to cool down the fever of people caused by the advent of the Kali age. I don't know that story, how the sage Gautama brought Gangaji down. I can't remember Gautama bringing. Was it
Gautama brings Godavari, Swamiji, and it's the Bhagirath.
Bhagirath brought the Gangaji down, na? So I don't know why it is written Gautama. So Lord Shiva brought the sacred Ganges to the earth by making sage Gautama an excuse. Just like Gangaji was brought down from the water in the Kamandalu of the creator, Brahmaji. He poured it on the feet of Lord Vishnu and it was coming down. Shivji collected it in his hair, and then from there he was prayed to by Bhagirath, the king Bhagirath, and then Gangaji was released on the from the Antariksh, from the space. It was released to the earth, and then wherever Bhagirath went, the Gangaji went behind him and absolved his ancestors. And so that story I know, but I don't know about the Gautama story.
Gautama is also is Ganga Swamiji, but it's called Godavari, that's all.
Okay, but
Because he was he gets that sin of killing the cow.
cow.
So to
Gautama.
Yeah.
Gautama.
Gautama, when he just said, because that is done by the other things, so it's a curse. It's a curse. He just touches it, and the cow dies. So all his colleagues call it
Gauhatya.
Gohatya. So then he brings he has to bring the Ganga. So it comes as a Ganga comes from what is it? Bhagavati in the Veda. What is Ganga? Ganga in the
Brahmagiri.
Ganga is in.
So I don't know that story. Maybe I will read it somewhere. So that is also, so you told the story now. And in order to cool down the fever of people caused by advent of the Kali age. So the Gangaji that sage Gautama brought, which is is Godavari, it is to cool down the fever of the Kali age. And how does Kali express as? What are the symptoms of Kali?
Dark and anger.
Huh?
Dark and anger.
What are the symptoms of Kali?
Not getting like.
What
fights
did
between-
when sage Parikshit, the grandson of Parikshit, grandson of Arjuna, Arjuna's grandson, he was the emperor of this earth. So when he had defeated the Kali Yuga, the present age, 17 times, 18th time Kali Yuga came and surrendered in front of him. Please give me, I have come for protection. You have defeated me, but what can I do? Nature is saying that it is my time, but you are defeating me again and again. I cannot defeat you. I know you are so pure, you are so dharmic. I cannot defeat you. Please give me Sharan. Please give me a place to stay. So Parikshit at that time gave him 3 places. What are they? Remember?
Madhusala.
Huh?
Madhusala.
One is the pubs. One is the pubs. Second,
Girls.
brothels. Not girls, brothels. And third,
Crown.
Jewel.
Gold.
gold. And immediately that Kali Yuga, he jumped and went into the crown of King Parikshit, and that very moment he made the mistake, because now his head is affected by Kali Yuga. So he goes and puts a dead snake around the neck of a meditating sannyasi, saint, and his son curses, "You will die in 7 days, whoever did this." And that's the conclusion of Parikshit. So these are the three places. Jua also, gambling also.
5 places.
What are the other two? What is one more?
Meat.
Meat.
Mamsa, go mamsa.
Not in Bhagavad it is not given. The 5 things are not given. In Bhagavad only these 3 are given, if I remember correctly.
You are always correct.
नहीं ऐसे कुछ नहीं है, because there are many places where it is somewhere it is expanded and said, but in Bhagavad, if I remember correctly, only these 3 were told. But the gambling also was very, very, I think it was also mentioned. Continuing, in the same way, the Lord milked the cow in the form of Gita, using Partha as the calf, and made the milk in the form of self-knowledge available to the whole world. What is that verse? Remember? What is that verse in the Gita Dhyanam? No, वो क्या शुरू क्या इसमें है क्या? दुग्धा गोपाल नंदनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर भोक्ता दुग्धा गोपाल नंदनः. So Parth is drinking.
सर्व उपनिषदो गायो.
वो तो एक सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गो, क्या आगे क्या है मैं? कालनंदनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर भोक्ता दुग्धम गीतामृतम महत. So Partha is drinking the nectar. Partho vatsa sudhir bhokta. Vatsa is the calf, is the child. Sudhir bhokta. Bhokta is drinking. And drinking what? The nectar. And Krishna is the cow. And here what he is saying? Here he is saying, Lord milked the cow in the form of Gita, using Partha as the calf, and made the milk in the form of self-knowledge available to the whole world. So that nectar is the self-knowledge. That nectar is the milk that Partha is drinking. And what is that milk? Milk of self-knowledge. And what is self-knowledge? No doubt about who you are. Be very clear. Don't go into imagination. Oh, that consciousness, I am that infinite. Realization is being absolutely clear in reference to space-time objectivity, who you are at this moment. That's it. It's not a memory. Oh, I came to realize 10 years ago, but I don't know where I am right now. It cannot be like that. Every moment you are absolutely clear as to who you are. With no lag. See? Oh, I had a wonderful experience in meditation yesterday, but today, forget it. If after studying this Bhagavad Gita, then I will have, enter into state of realization. Forget it. Nothing. It's here and now. Every moment we have to be alert towards the self, towards the consciousness. How? By being the consciousness. If you become engrossed in the Gita, heart and soul, and thoroughly wet your tongue by the means of its recital, you will become one with the Gita. A saint is telling you, have no doubt. All saints have said either chant the Gita or chant the the Sai Charitra or our Gondavlekar Charitra or Gajanan Charitra. You see, all these are texts. What it is, why are they telling you to chant? Why are they telling you to chant? To purify your tongue. So when we tell you to do Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti Para, that chant a mantra, chant Om or chant Om Namah Shivaya or whatever, you chant with the loud mouth, loudly you chant, then it goes to your lip chanting, then it goes to your throat chanting, Adam's apple chanting, then it goes to mental chanting, and then you go beyond it. That is the process. You cannot do any shortcuts in it. If you do shortcuts, you have to face the consequences. And what is the consequence? Suddenly, when you are do not chant the loudly, only mentally. Suddenly, chanting mentally, you go into some gaga world, and suddenly 1 hour is gone in that imaginary world, and then you come out. I was chanting where I was suddenly. This is chanting loudly keeps you in the present, keeps you in the here and now, provided while you are chanting, your attention is on the chanting, and the attention can remain on chanting if you are chanting with faith, you are chanting with alertness, if your attention is on the clarity of the pronunciation, if your attention is on the source of the chanting, the greatness of the chanting, the bhav is coming that with every word that is of the Gita or that mantra that I am chanting, I am merging into that chant, what it is representing. With this disposition, you do the mantra chanting, not mechanically. That tape recorder is also doing. So if you become engrossed in the Gita, heart and soul, and thoroughly wet your tongue by the means of its recital, you will become one with the Bhagavad Gita. A recital of even 1/4 of a verse will make you rich in Brahmic knowledge. I was told, only one word is enough. What's the time? ये थे जीवे जरी ना हाल तरी हे चीकी रहुआल ना तरी पाठ मिशे तिम्बाल जीभची जरी तरी लोह एके अंशे झगट लिया परी से ये रिकडे अपैसे सुवर्ण होय तैसी पाठाची ते वाटी श्लोक पाद लावाना जव वोठी तव ब्रह्मतेची पुष्टी येईल अंगा ना येणेसी मुखपांकडे करूनी ठाकाल कानवडे तरी कानीही घेता पडे तेची लेख जे हे श्रवणे पाठे अर्थे गीता नेदी मोक्षा आरवते जैसा समर्थुदाता कोण्हाते नास्ती न म्हणे. He says, a recital of even 1/4 of a verse will make you rich in Brahmic knowledge. Brahmic knowledge, the transcendental knowledge. In the same way as contact of a philosopher's stone with even 1 part of a piece of iron turns it into gold. You have to read. For that, you have to read a book. If you understand, there are many stories. One of the books which I read many years ago, 40 years ago probably, it's by Dan Millman, The Philosopher's Stone. Dan Millman. You heard of him? No. Good. Thoda imaginary hai, but it's a story, and it's about finding the Philosopher's Stone. And he goes to the Peruvian jungles and eventually finds one. But it's more spiritual journey. Plus, as it's a story in the end. Turns it into gold. Meaning what? Every word, when it is imbibed, your mind, which is made up of what? Made up of desires for the world. The world is sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, inertia, dynamism and purity. But who are you? Are you inertia, dynamism and purity? Or are you the consciousness? See? Purity will give you light, but it is temporary. Dynamism will express as commitment and courage. So, Philosopher's Stone, the words of the Bhagavad Gita are coming and transferring your mind to be the consciousness that it is. Meaning, you will recognize you are the witnessing consciousness, unaffected by what is coming and going in the mind. You will attain the same state if you hear it by turning your side and pulling a long face. He is being joking here. You will attain the same state if you hear it by turning your side and pulling a long face. That means you understand or you don't understand, doesn't matter. Once I had gone to Hawaii to do a course. What is that? The course was for 21 days. And they're all ex-presidents of America, governors of America, billionaires of America. Every day they were coming and giving lectures to us how to be successful in life, how to create a win-win game in attitude in life. I was just going to enter into business. And that time on the 18th day, out of 21, 18th day, Robert Kiyosaki, you must have heard, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he came to me. He says, can you call this Swami in the small island of Kauai and see what he needs? I said, yeah. So I called him. He says, son, you don't need to do anything. I'll come. Sir, your tickets, we will organize our tickets. Anything I need to prepare here, you don't have to prepare. You enjoy your time there and I will come prepared. And next day he came. Only 3-hour session. Came with, 3 of them came, 2 disciples and him. Out of 3 hours, 1.5 hours, he put us in meditation. His disciples were chanting and he is sitting like a Lord Shiva in the middle of the stage. Huge, 7 feet tall Swami, American, with the jatas and Rudra Akshamala here, everywhere. And magnificent, just to look at. And then he said, now these boys, my boys are going to chant, and as they are chanting, you will find that you are going, it will act like a lullaby and you will be drifting away. Some of them you will be drifting into yoga nidra, some of you will drift into sleep, but it does not matter. It is all holy. It is all auspicious. And after 1.5 hours, I will start speaking. And when I speak, some of you will open your eyes but will be blank. Some of you will be half asleep and half awake. And some of you will be asleep. But don't worry. Whatever I speak is going to go directly into your subconscious. Is going to go directly into your subconscious. And it will benefit you. It will unfold when the right time comes. See? This is how Bhagavad Gita is. So here, where are we? So whether we look at, we are attentively listening to Bhagavad Gita or half interestedly listening to Bhagavad Gita, or we are doing something and the Bhagavad Gita chanting or the lecture is going on the YouTube, it will all benefit. That's what he's trying to say. Just as an affluent and generous donor does not send anyone with an empty hand. Just as an affluent and a generous donor does not send anyone with an empty hand, this Gita gives nothing short of liberation to one who hears it or recites it or grasps its meaning. So, have we been chanting Bhagavad Gita while we have been listening for last 8 years? 8 years? 9 years? Jada? Oh my God.
Started 2010, 2010.
10? Baapre. 12 years? 14 years? 14 years! Ek tapas. One tapas. One tapas. Tapas is 12 years. थोड़ा extend हो गया. Okay, hopefully this year will conclude. Only few pages left for us to survive. Just as an affluent and generous donor does not send anyone with an empty hand, this Gita gives nothing short of liberation to one who hears it or recites it or grasps its meaning. Therefore, a wise person should only take recourse to the Gita. What will he gain by resorting to other religious texts? Question mark. You need something which is... There are so many texts, even in Hinduism, there are so many texts. How many are we? We have been covering so much. Where will you find everything? In Bhagavad Gita. So hold on to one. But we are used to investment, no? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spread them out. If one fails, at least others are surviving. But in spirituality, it is not like that. Put all your eggs in one basket. And not in different baskets. That is called focus. That is called single-pointedness. That is called concentration. That is called faith. Put all your eggs in one basket. Without fear. But with faith. And what is that basket? That's the basket of Bhagavad Gita. We'll conclude here for today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Just sit quietly for a moment.